Power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. Visit bjsrestaurants.com to find a location near you. By Tire Pros of Arizona. Everything rotates around you. By the NASCAR Can-Am 500 at ISM Raceway, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money.
Well, another beautiful evening here in lower downtown Denver, Colorado. It's the D-backs and the Rockies. Partly cloudy, 81, very comfortable here. Steve Berthew, Bob Renly, Jody Jackson with you. Game 2 of this 4-game set, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, a team that's given the D-backs problems lately. Diamondbacks won 6 of the first 7 meetings between these two this year, but they've dropped 5 of the last 6, including a tough one last night.
Yeah, ran into a hot Rockies ball club. They've been swinging the bats well lately, getting surprisingly good starting pitching out of their rotation, and that combustible bullpen from the first half has settled in a little bit. Buddy Black has some usable pieces down there now.
Yeah, the Rockies are well aware they're in the midst of an important homestand for them, all against the National League West. They opened up by sweeping 3 from the Giants, dropped 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, and bounced back big time with that win last night against the D-backs. Here's the Diamondbacks starting lineup tonight, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
John Jay leading it off out in right field tonight. Eduardo Escobar at third base. David Peralta cannot wait for his at bat. He's the third hitter. He's already on deck. He'll be out in left field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. A.J. Pollock in center field. Ketel Marte back in the lineup at second base tonight. Nick Ahmed at short. Jeff Mathis doing the catching. And Zach Greinke, the right-hander, on the mound.
Now let's take a look at our Sun State Technology Group postseason update. Mentioned this a while ago. The D-backs have lost 12 of their last 17. It's still doable here. 3.5 in the division, 4 in the wild card.
Just have to take care of your own business. Obviously in a position right now where it would certainly help if some of the teams, the Rockies, the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Cardinals, would take some lumps over the next couple of weeks, but really all the Diamondbacks can control is the head-to-head matchups. Just go out and win games.
They are getting a little help from the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds won last night over the Dodgers. They're winning again today. Right now it's 3-1 Reds, leading LA in the 7th inning. This Rockies bunch really coming together. They can kind of sense it here. The fan interest has been tremendous. They've never won a division title. And this is the latest in a season. Colorado has been alone atop its division since 1995. They can start to smell it here in Denver.
Well, we know baseball is all about rhythms and peaks and valleys and cycles that you go through over the course of the season. And ideally, you get to a position in September where you're either leading the division or within striking distance. And that's when your team is playing their best baseball in that final month of the season. And Bud Black has to be pretty pleased with the way his team has played so far in this month. And
it's a remarkable run here for Colorado if you think about it. I mean, this could have been an absolute disaster, an iceberg for their Titanic. They had the homestand that they're on right now, Giants, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. After this series, they go on the road, San Francisco, LA, and Arizona. That's a tough stretch, 6 consecutive series within the NL West.
Yeah, and you could say the same thing about the Diamondbacks' remaining schedule. Certainly you look at a bunch of first-place teams and teams within your own division, teams you're chasing, and one way to look at it is, boy, that's going to be tough. And the other way to look at it is you win a few of those games early in that stretch, suddenly the confidence comes back. You're starting to play well against first-place teams, and maybe you find that mojo that's been absent.
And they are off to a good start during this difficult stretch. Colorado 5-2 so far on its 10-game homestand. There's your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the Rockies tonight, the 23-year-old right-hander, Antonio Senzatella. He's been in and out of the bullpen, up and down from the minors and on and off the DL. And tonight just his 10th start this year.
0-2 against the Diamondbacks this season. 1 start, 1 relief appearance at Chase Field. An ERA of .675 in those games. In 6 career appearances, he's 0-3 with an ERA of nearly 8.5.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the Rockies defense tonight.
David Dahl out in left field tonight. Charlie Blackmon in center. Dahl moves to left so Carlos Gonzalez can play his customary right field position this evening. Nolan Arenado will be at third base. Trevor Story at short. DJ LeMahieu at second with Ryan McMahon at first base tonight. Tony Walters once again doing the catching for righty Antonio Senzatella.
The crew chief is calling the balls and strikes tonight. Our plate umpire is Fielden Culbreth. Phil Cuzzies at first base. Chris Conroy's at second. And C.B. Bucknor is our third base umpire. Still a chance here. 18 games to go. 9 of those 18, half, against Colorado and Los Angeles. It is still, despite all the troubles lately, in front of the Diamondbacks if they can put it together. John Jay leads us off, and we are set to go. The second of 4 D-backs and the Rockies from Coors Field. John Jay, .275 batting average, 3 home runs. In right field tonight, the off day for Steven Souza Jr. Another left-hand bat in there against Senzatella. And there's the strike. We're underway. Jay grounded out in his only at bat last night. Came in about halfway through. Well, last night turned into a spring training game. The 3 or 4 defenders all switched at once every half inning or so. Just about everybody got into the ball game last night for both sides. That's a liner foul just beyond the screen. 1-2.
You mentioned John Jay in there to get another left-handed bat on Senzatella tonight. This season, his splits have been identical as far as batting average. .276 by lefties, .276 by righties.
He's a pro, no doubt about it. Takes a close one up, and it's 2-2. And Torey Lovullo really likes John Jay in a leadoff spot, likes the patient approach, the ability to see a lot of pitches. He's just got a knack for getting on base in a variety of different ways. Slow roller to second. DJ LeMahieu's there. One away. Well, Torey Lovullo got a nice bounce back effort last night from Eduardo Escobar. It had been a while. He'd been on a bit of a dry spell. But he singled 3 times last night, had an RBI, scored a run, hitting .271 with 20 homers. Fastball misses up. Last night, Escobar's first multi-hit game since August 18th, a stretch of 19 games.
Man, look at these short, compact swings that Escobar was featuring last night. That series against Atlanta, he looked like he was Miguel Montero trying to hit every ball over the right field wall. He really cut down on his swing last night. Much more under control, much quicker.
1-1 on Eduardo Escobar. Good changeup there by Senzatella. That's been a pitch he struggled with. A little flare, shallow left center, and it drops in there. Escobar's got a 1-out single. Those outfielders are so far back, they have so much ground to cover. That's a classic Coors Field hit right there.
Yeah, Coors Field single, just a little floater that would have been a routine fly ball in most ballparks with outfielders playing at normal depth. But because you have to play so deep here at Coors, no chance for Charlie Blackmon to catch up to that little floater.
D-backs able to put a run on the board in the first inning last night. See if they can get it going again here tonight. Peralta, .297, 26 home runs. Batting in the 3 spot against the right-hander. David had a base hit last night. He's hit safely now in 5 straight games. He has always hit well in this ballpark. This is a drive deep to center field. David Peralta, get out of here! Diamondbacks strike first. It's 2-0. Peralta's 27th on the season and his 3rd home run at Coors Field this year.
Made a loud noise off the bat of David Peralta that time. It was hit so high in the air, I wasn't sure if that had enough carry to get out of here. Out where Bambi lives, but Charlie Blackmon runs back to the barrier, just looks up, and watch that one sail into an evergreen tree out there in center field.
Boy, Peralta now 11 for 23 at Coors Field this year. Here's Goldie. Looks at strike one.
Well, we talked about it last night. David Peralta against any right-handed pitching, but especially against the Rockies right-handers. He's hitting .500.
Jumbo Jack, free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box for the purchase of a large drink.
And I'm sure that'll be another hard hit ball. Anything 95 miles an hour or more off the bat. He's 60% of the time against the Rockies right-handers this year.
Goldie 299, 33 home runs, still leads the league with that OPS at 960. Gooden check, and it's 1-2. 434 feet on the Peralta homer. Good start. Lays off a fastball away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And for Senzatella, the beat goes on. In 10 first innings this season, opponents are hitting nearly .400 against him, an ERA well over 6.
Diamondbacks continue putting up runs in the first. They're the best in the business at that. Full count, 3-2. A.J. Pollock on deck. He walked him. Wouldn't bite on the slider. So 3 straight have reached, all with 1 out. 2 runs already in. Here's A.J. 261, 16 home runs for A.J. Pollock. A.J. tripled off the wall in right field in his first at bat last night. Scored on an Escobar single, and 2 batters in, it was 1-0. Well, he really is on that slider. We've seen a whole bunch of them so far. Antonio Senzatella, he'll throw his fastball nearly 70% of the time. The slider is his first pitch off that fastball, and there's an inconsistent changeup, but he's essentially a 2-pitch guy, that fastball slider combo. That was the slider right there, missed away, and it's 1-1.
All right, that David Peralta 2-run blast. The Rockies have now given up 126 first inning runs, the most in the major leagues.
That's a lot. Here's the fly ball out to Carlos Gonzalez in right field. Never know with Cargo. He likes to try and deke everybody. 2 down now for Ketel Marte. So Senzatella looking at least a 20 pitch first. Marte 251, 10 home runs. Two runs in, Goldie at first, 2 down. That's the changeup. He's not had a whole lot of luck with it as they try and make him a starting pitcher in terms of something more than just the fastball and slider. And that's a big issue for Bud Black. They've tried a curveball. You'll see it once in a while. But the changeup is not a battle that he's won yet. But part of a very young Colorado Rockies rotation that's done a very good job down the stretch. It's been the starting pitching that has advanced and enabled them to take hold of this division. I think they surprised a lot of people with some of these young starters. Everybody, Bob, expected them to fail. Well, the Rockies, those guys, you know, by the All-Star break, they'll start getting tired and whatnot. Well, no, they've pitched well.
Yeah, that's probably the most surprising thing. You always expect the Rockies to score runs in bunches and have guys scattered all over the leaderboard offensively, but you don't expect them to pitch well, especially in this ballpark.
And they've certainly had their bullpen problems like the Diamondbacks have had, but the Rockies have overcome theirs a bit. Adam Ottavino has been very good. Scott Oberg has been good back there. Wade Davis had Several blown saves this summer, but he's settled down. 1-1 on Marte. That's the slider right through the back door, and it's 1-2. Just missed up and in with that fastball. Senzatella's only start against the D-backs here at Coors Field. Got ugly. It was last June. He was whacked around, 9 runs, 8 hits, and only 5 innings. And he's down 2-0 here. Got that fastball in again, stays 2-2.
Yeah, reading some of the local papers today, they were talking about Senzatella's last outing against the Giants back on the 5th of September, and they said he pitched well. I looked at the numbers. He went 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, and walked 2. There's 11 base runners in 5 innings, only 3 scored, so I don't know if I'd classify that as a good outing, but they seem to be happy with it.
Got him on the 25th pitch of the inning, and that's the slider. But David Peralta gets the D-backs off to a good start. His 27th of the year makes it 2-0 Diamondbacks.
This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz.
By USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community.
By One AZ Credit Union. Let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The Card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the Card today.
Zach Greinke on the mound, starts Charlie Blackmon off with strike one. Blackmon leading off for the Rockies. Shift is on, and that one is belted deep to right field, and it's a extra base hit off the top of the wall. He just missed a home run, a leadoff double for Charlie Blackmon.
Not always easy to decide when to give up on a ball out there in right field. That fence is so high, you can only jump so high to try to take extra bases away from an opposing hitter. John Jay got back to the wall, realized he couldn't get up that high. Played it on a carom off the wall to hold Charlie Blackmon to a leadoff double, his 25th of the season.
Your Ram Truck starting pitcher, Zach Greinke. 13-9, 308. The home runs have become an issue. He's already given up 27. That's a career high. And Blackmon just missed one right there. Here's DJ LeMahieu. That slices into the seats out of play. Valley Chevy Dealers has the Colorado lineup tonight.
Now we've seen Charlie Blackmon, the center fielder, with that leadoff double. DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman, at the plate now. He'll be followed by Nolan Arenado at third. David Dahl out in left field. Trevor Story at shortstop. Carlos Gonzalez out in right field. Ryan McMahon at first base. Tony Walters doing the catching, and Antonio Senzatella on the mound.
That's punch to first. Goldie backhands it. Greinke's got it. Blackmon to third. One out. E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the Diamondback defense.
Peralta, Pollock, and Jay left to right across the outfield here at Coors tonight. Escobar and Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Marte and Goldschmidt on the right side, with Jeff Mathis behind the plate for righty Zach Greinke.
Well, we have a second here, Bob. Let's take a look at your Valley Honda dealer key to the game.
Well, it's kind of a moot point now, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Be like John Malarkey.
Who's that?
Well, this is directed for Zach Greinke. John Malarkey back in 1902 pitched 11 innings and hit a walk-off home run in a 1-0 win. If you have to throw a shutout and hit a homer to win a ball game, do it.
Well, sounds like a lot of malarkey to me, but let's see what we can do. Here's Arenado.
John Malarkey was the pride of Springfield, Ohio. Are you kidding me? He had a 6-year career in the major leagues, but that was without a doubt the highlight of his career.
I'd say. Well, Arenado's had a lot of highlights. 295, 32 home runs, fourth in the league in OPS at 926. Fastball misses in. Arenado was hitless last night, but he walked and had an RBI. Well, he really likes to survey the defense. Who's out there? Where should I hit the ball? He's got Blackmon at third, one down. Interesting contrast with Blackmon on the bases. Last night he was almost doing jumping jacks around Zach Godley, trying to disrupt Godley, get in his head, as Torey Lovello put it last night. They were making a lot of noise around Zach on the bases. He's a lot quieter here tonight against Greinke.
Well, and Zach Godley insists it wasn't an issue. He wasn't bothered by it.
This is well hit, deep to left field. Peralta will play it off the wall. It gets behind him and rolls back towards center. Blackmon's home, RBI double for Arenado, and it's 2-1. David, it seemed, couldn't make up his mind whether to try and make the catch or play it off the wall, and he did neither.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a couple of extra steps. David might be able to make the catch right out there at the base of the wall, but as we said with John Jay in right field, you've got to make a split-second decision as that ball is flying through the air, whether you can make the play or are you better served backing off and play the carom, and that time he did neither.
Well, two of the first three Colorado batters with wall ball doubles against Greinke. And here's the cleanup man, David Dahl, who hit a grand slam last night. Got him on the slow curve. Dahl 2 hits last night. The slam, the first of his career.
That drive off the bat of Nolan Arenado to left field. You can see David Peralta out there. The ball's hit hard. It's Nolan Arenado. You know it's got a chance to get out of here. He just kind of short legs it all the way back to the warning track and then gives up on a ball that hits the bottom of the fence. I mean, David himself has said on a couple of occasions he didn't know where he was on the field. Remember the ball in left center field when he and AJ came together? Sometimes he just kind of loses track of where he is on the field.
Dahl in left field for the Rockies tonight. He was the starter in right field last night in the opener. Cargo's out there tonight. Fastball misses low. 2-1. Greinke handed a 2-0 lead in immediate trouble. He is unbeaten against the Rockies this year, 2-0 in 3 starts. D-backs have the shift on, 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. This is the first night where there's just a tiny little hint of autumn in the air. Just a little bit in the light It's still a very comfortable night, very warm, but a little autumny here tonight, just a bit.
I don't like it.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. There's the overshift against a left-hand batter. That slow curve misses badly. Mathis has to jump out there and catch it. And he's run it full on Dahl with Story on deck.
If there's just a nip of fall in the air tonight, imagine what it's going to feel like a month from now when MLB is in the middle of their postseason. It'll be more than a nip of fall in the air. It might be snowing.
You always get great colors here in the sky, and it's just beautiful here, but a little autumny colors. That's hit hard to second. Marte picks it up. 2 outs as Arenado gets it at third. Here's Story. 293 now, 32 homers. Only 1 hit last night. It was good enough. The 3-run shot that took the game from 3-1 to 6-1. And Story, like Carlos Gonzalez behind him, who's on deck, has 5 career home runs against Zach Greinke. Fastball is in for a strike, 0-1. Remember what Story did to Greinke in his Diamondback debut a few years ago. 10 for 32 lifetime against him. 5 homers. That's belted down the line. That'll tie the game as Arenado jogs home. It's off the wall. And 3 of the first 5 Colorado batters have doubled against Zach Greinke.
Fooling anybody. 70-mile-an-hour curveball that stays up and out over the plate that time. I'm sure Zach wanted it down a little bit more, looking for that ground ball to get out of the inning, but left the curveball up, and Story made him pay. 3 doubles in the inning for the Rockies.
And here's Cargo with 2 outs in a 2-2 ball game. We did not see Gonzalez last night. He's in there at 281 with 15 home runs. And like Story, 5 homers lifetime against Greinke. Starts him off with that hard changeup. Cargo is slumping just a bit. He's lost a lot of playing time to David Dahl. He's just 3 for 24 in September. You know, mechanically, he can get out of whack pretty quickly. When he's firing correctly, he can be a deadly weapon. But right now, he's kind of swings getting a little big. He's a little rotational up there. A little too much of a front leg kick. The whole thing gets out of whack like a sports car or something.
And when guys do get a little long with the swing, like you were talking about Carlos Gonzalez, usually the plan of attack is to bust him inside, especially up at the hands and farther up. If your swing is long, you're not going to be able to get to those fastballs up and in.
20th pitch of the first inning on the way from Greinke. Shift is on against Gonzalez. Tried to check. Yes, he did, says C.B. Bucknor. And it's 3 balls and a strike. Ryan McMahon is the on-deck hitter. In Colorado last night, 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position. They've already knocked in 2 runs here in the first. 2 for 4 so far. Bouncer to first. Goldie's got it. Greinke's there. Diamondbacks get 2. So do the Rockies. We are tied after 1. Start the second. Fans, secure your seats now. The final homestand this year is coming up. D-backs back in the fight for postseason. Starting on Monday, September 17th, it's the Cubs, then the Rockies, and the Dodgers all coming to Chase Field. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Nick Ahmed leads off the Diamondbacks second against Antonio Senzatella. Nick hitting .246. He's got 16 homers.
Good numbers against Senzatella, 4 for 6, small sample size, but the 4 hits have come in a row. Senzatella got him to ground out his first 2 at bats against Nick Ahmed, and since then Nick has owned him, 4 straight base hits.
Senzatella has had nothing but trouble with the Diamondbacks. He's made 6 career appearances, 2 starts, and he's 0-3. His ERA is about 8.25. And he gave up 2 runs in the first tonight. That one miss, 1-1. Nick 0 for 4 last night, struck out twice. That snapped a 5-game hit streak for him. Laying off these fastballs away, 2-1. We said you'll see a lot of that 4-seamer. He throws it nearly 70% of the time. All right, that slider missed upstairs, and it's full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jeff Mathis, the on-deck hitter.
And Senzatella's a little old school with that fastball as well. If he's behind in the count, he's going to challenge with it. We've seen so many pitchers in Major League Baseball throw 2-0 sliders and 3-1 changeups. Senzatella likes that fastball. He has a lot of confidence in it, and he will challenge hitter when the count's in their favor.
Just threw it again right there. Senzatella was a 10-game winner as a rookie last year. This season, he didn't make the rotation. He opened the year in the bullpen, struggled, and went to the minors. Came back up in July, went right into the rotation, but since his recall, he's been on the DL twice. He's had some injury problems, a blister and a shoulder problem. Story throws out Ahmed to start the second. Had a blister on his right middle finger for a while, Antonio Senzatella, then some right shoulder inflammation. So just his 10th start this year. Brings up Jeff Mathis. That was the rare Senzatella curveball. They've been on him to add that extra breaking ball, try and change the shape and velocity, something different from the slider. You won't see it a whole lot. Back to the fastball. It's 1-1.
It's probably a good time for Senzatella to throw that curveball. You don't want to try to incorporate it to the guys in the middle of the lineup that might whack it out of the ballpark. But when you're facing the 8-9 hitter in the lineup, you want to show a curveball so that those guys sitting in the third base dugout see that you have one. And this is probably a good time to do it against the number 8 hitter. Got the pitcher on deck. Now would be the time to break it out.
And with that fastball, he's staying away. He's not coming into some of these righties. Most of these 4-seamers have been on the outside half against the right-hand batters. Tried the slider and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tony Walters back there again tonight. Another fastball away. Mathis sends it out toward Gonzalez in right field. Cargo will play it off the wall. Mathis settles for a long single.
fastball off the plate away that time, and Jeff Mathis gets barrel on it, drives it out there to right field. Cargo looked like he got fooled a little bit by that ball, carrying a little better here than the outfielders are expecting. That one shot over his head off the base of the wall out there in right field.
One out base runner for Greinke. Arenado is even with the bag at third. Now he's creeping in just a bit. No sign of a bunt from Greinke. There's a fastball for a strike. Looking down to Tony Perez-Chica at third. And again, Arenado is right near the base. Now he'll take a step or two in. Now he backs off again. Still no sign of a bunt. Bounced up the middle. Story for 1 and 2. Bottom 2. It's tied at 2 in Colorado. Is the season's final episode of the Local 9. Todd Walsh talking with Randy Johnson. John Jay representing the U. Bob Renly and John Ryan Murphy to find out their favorite things to do, places to go away from the ballpark. It's D-backs the Local 9 presented by CenturyLink. Coming up Sunday after the D-backs and Astros game, only on Fox Sports Arizona.
It just seems so odd. There's all those beer taps right there. Todd didn't even offer us a little, some suds.
That's rude.
It is.
Well, it might have been a game day. You never know. You never want to drink beer on the game day, do you?
No. No.
Yeah. Ryan McMahon, the first baseman, leads it off. 237 and 5 home runs. Zach Greinke, a 21-pitch first inning. He threw a first pitch strike to every batter he faced. Does it again here to start the second on that curveball. Rockies 3 hard wall ball doubles against Greinke in the first. A lot of loud contact. Blackman just missed a leadoff homer. Arenado doubled off the wall in left. Trevor Story hit one into the corner down there. There's a fastball for a strike. I mentioned those colors. Just a hint of autumn in the air tonight. It is beautiful around here, that's for sure. Called strike 3. Dotted the corner with that fastball, and Greinke gets his first strikeout.
Good start to the second inning here by Zach Greinke, pounding away on Ryan McMahon that time. Big slow curveball fouled out of play, then dots the corner with a fastball, comes right back in nearly the same location for a called strike 3. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game, commanding that fastball.
The catcher Tony Walters hitting 186 with 3 home runs. Another first pitch strike from Zach Greinke. Walters behind the plate last night. He had 3 hits, drove in 2 runs, scored twice. Walters' first 3-hit game this year. Zach jumps ahead 0-2. There's that changeup that darts down and away from the left-hand batter. Tried to double up with that changeup. Walters didn't bite. It's 1-2. Waves at that one in the dirt. The slider from Greinke. Mathis completes the strikeout. 2 down.
Hard slider down that time. A little confusing there as Walters throws the bat away. Jeff Mathis wasn't sure if he was going back to the dugout or going to try to run to first base. Goldie didn't quite know what to do down there at first, but ultimately they get the strikeout completed.
Antonio Senzatella, the Rockies pitcher. Senzatella 1 for 14 this year. Does have an RBI. Greinke, a chance here to strike out the side. 1-2-3. Nice, quick, tidy second after a 21-pitch first. Escobar at third. A 10-pitch second for Greinke. We're tied at 2. Third here at Coors Field. Hey, the D-backs are back in the fight for postseason. Get your tickets now for the big games, the final homestand coming up. We got the Cubs, we got the Rockies, and we got the Dodgers all coming to Chase Field. The final homestand of the season starts next week. Don't miss it. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. We need you guys. Hanging in there with Colorado, another wild one already. Both teams put up a 2-spot in the first. And John Jay will lead off the third against Antonio Senzatella. Jay grounded out to lead off the ball game. Senzatella, who made the last out in the previous half inning, still finishing up his warm-up tosses. 18 games to go, counting tonight for the Diamondbacks. 9 against both Colorado and LA. So the math can still work out if they can get hot, as Torey Lovullo says. This team is capable of putting together a hot streak at any moment, and hopefully it starts tonight.
There's a few areas of the game they need to clean up a little bit, starting with the bullpen. The offense needs to be more consistent. The defense needs to tighten up like they were most of the season. That's the one thing that's really been shocking recently, is the sloppy defensive play. They made 10 errors in their last 10 games.
Yeah, that game the other night at Chase Field against Atlanta, that was a tough one. 4 errors. For the longest time, they had more errors than hits in that ball game, but still with plenty of chances to win late. 1-1 on Jay. And John Jay's run hot and cold this year. He's in a 3 for 25 stretch right now. There's the Senzatella slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, we know that's his best secondary pitch, but he hasn't exactly commanded it well in the early going tonight. He's bounced a lot of them or thrown them off that outside corner to right-handed hitters. His fastball command has been fairly good.
Bounced one up there. He didn't go, says CB Bucknor. That was the curveball. Well, we got good news again from Cincinnati. Dodgers have lost. Reds beat them 3-1. Home runs from Dixon and Schebler for Cincinnati. Castillo the win, Ryu the loss. 3-1 the final from Great American Ballpark. Escobar singled and scored in the first. He's on deck. Full count on John Jay, 3-2. Chased a high fastball, 1 down. Now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's a look at that Reds game. Scott Schebler off Hyunjin Ryu. Whoa, way out of here in Cincinnati. Into the bullpen, almost over the bullpen. So it's 3-1. That's the final. Dodgers lose again in the Natty. Here's Escobar. Boy, oh boy. In with a fastball missed. Senzatella, a long 25 pitch first. You got a double play ball to win the second, a 14 pitch second inning. That one's fouled back.
Another game of huge interest in that National League Central. Also in the wild card race, the Cubs lead the Brewers 2-0 in the 5th inning of that ball game at Wrigley.
That NL Central race is going to go right down to the final day. Chicago and Milwaukee. 2-2 on Eduardo Escobar. Peralta, who homered in the first, is on deck.
Those battling red legs, 6-0 against the Dodgers this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they swept them in LA when they were there not too long ago. And again, a Diamondback hitter chases a high fastball out of the strike zone and strikes out.
Yeah, that's shoulder high.
And that's what Torey is talking about when he says the problem has been they're just swinging at pitches that aren't meant to be hit. 50 pitches, 29 strikes. Here's Peralta. His home run in the first is 27th of the year to deep center field. And that's a foul ball. It was a 2-run homer. So David now at 78 RBIs for the year. That ties his career high.
That's one thing. As an offensive player in this ballpark, as we saw right there, you do not have to pull the ball to get good results. Just make solid contact. Barrel the ball up, hit it hard somewhere. It's got a chance to leave the ballpark or find a gap. That's
out to left field. David Dahl. Made the catch. A 1-2-3 third for Senzatello. We stay tied at 2. Rush race, and it's bristles at the wire.
Whoa.
No, fresh. The tube of toothpaste over bristles and Toothy the Tooth.
I don't know what Toothy's smiling about. He got beat badly last night, too.
Hey, fans, starting in week 4, Fox will be the new network home of Thursday night football, and the schedule on Fox this year is loaded. It's one big can't-miss matchup after another. Thursday night football coming to Fox in week 4. Now it's a game. Blackman leads it off for Colorado, grounds out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Greinke in the 3rd. So Zach has now thrown first pitch strikes to all 10 batters he's faced. And he's retired 5 straight. Here's LeMahieu. LeMahieu grounded out his first time up, coming off a 3-hit night last night. He doubled, walked, and drove in 2 runs in the ballgame last night.
One pitch, 1 out. I would guess that LeMahieu is going to take until he gets a strike. I could be way off base. You hate to take too many pitches in this ballpark, but after a quick 1 pitch out, it's kind of your responsibility as a second hitter in the inning to see as many pitches as you can. If you get up there and make a quick 1 or 2 pitch out, now it's on Nolan Arenado, a guy who can hit the ball out of the ballpark with regularity, and he's going to have to take a few pitches to try to extend Greinke in this inning.
Lays off a slider in the dirt, and keep in mind Greinke coming off a 10-pitch second inning after a bumpy 21-pitch first. Fastball misses low. LeMahieu has now put together 5 consecutive multi-hit games over the course of what is now a 7-game hitting streak. 3 more hits in last night's game. 2 balls and a strike. This is hit hard at Ahmed. Just scoops it up. A couple of ground ball outs for Zach in the 3rd. He set down 6 in a row. Two down for Arenado, who had an RBI double and scored in the 1st. Belted one off the wall and left behind Peralta. Nolan Arenado, since 2014, No player in the majors has more RBIs, and no player in the National League has hit more home runs. That was a good hard slider from Zach at 85. That slider has slowly started to make a comeback over the last 6 weeks or so. Pitch that really wasn't there for Greinke early in the year. That was a big dominant pitch for him last season. That was another one right there, missed, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Another slider.
Little check swing tapper. Greinke's got it. He's set down 7 straight Rockies and 9 pitch third. We're tied at 2. Back in the fight for postseason play. Don't miss out on any postseason action this year. You can sign up online for your chance to get tickets. Visit dbacks.com/postseason for more information. Paul Goldschmidt walked his first time up against right-hander Antonio Senzatella. Story at shortstop. One down for Pollock.
Guys are swinging like the bus is waiting outside the ballpark or something. A lot of first pitch hacking for both teams.
Senzatella labored through a 25 pitch first. Peralta hit a 2-run home run. But since then, a 14 pitch second and a 12 pitch third. They're making it just too easy on him. Now 1 pitch out to start the 4th. Here's AJ, who flied out his first time up. AJ tripled and scored last night. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 6. That was the Senzatella curve we've talked about. Starting to see that a little bit more now the second time through the order. Bud Black. He's been around the NL West a time or two. AJ got a fastball up and chased on 2-0. You're right about Senzatella. It's amazing when you see it. It occurs to you how rarely we do see it. Fastballs and fastball counts.
Yeah. He's the exception to what has become the rule. Off-speed pitches, breaking balls in hitters' counts.
There's a fastball that misses. 3-1. Yeah, he gets behind 2-0, 2-1. Here comes the four-seamer. Marte struck out to end the first. He's on deck.
Yeah, the D-backs have done him some favors chasing four-seamers up out of the zone, but yeah, at least he's got the confidence in that pitcher, the guts to throw it.
This is sliced out to right center. Gonzalez can't cut it off. AJ had a short double. He's going to head for second anyway, and he's in there. That was an easy stand-up double, and he survived the stumble.
Went down and golfed that one to the gap out there in right center field. Cargo took a little bit of a shallow line that time, has to go all the way back to the wall to get the ball, and I think Cargo was conceding a double as well, as AJ just slipped right off the top of first base, but able to regain his momentum and still make it to second base safely.
Marte struck out his first time. Starts him off with that curveball away for a strike, a 1-1. Marte stuck in a 3-for-17 skid right now. That coming right after he had a 6-game hit streak last month. Bounce to second. LeMahieu on a short hop. AJ in at third. 2 outs.
The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
This game a chance for Ketel Marte to show Torey Lovullo he should get some left-handed bats. It hasn't worked out yet. He did hit the ball to the right side, however, to move the runner along. Marte's left-hand offensive numbers are lagging far behind his right-hand numbers. So some of those at-bats lately have gone to Daniel Descalso. Nick hits the first pitch to Story. High throw, but McMahon keeps the foot on the bag. They strand the 1-out double. We're still tied at 2.
Trevor Story due up second here against Zach Greinke. 11 for 33 now after a first inning double against Greinke. And look, these two do have a history. 2 bombs by Story on opening day in 2016. But Greinke's made some great adjustments against the Rockies shortstop. I talked to Jeff Mathis about it today. He said, obviously, he can get the ball in the air, he can get it out of the park. We want to keep the ball down. We want to mix it up. So it's a chess match, right? Well, Story, before the wild card game last year, said, I don't want to match wits like that. I just want to go up there and compete with my eyes. So he doesn't seem too interested in going down that line of thinking with Zach, and Zach's going to try his best to mix it up. But, you know, Story, he's just going to see a pitch he likes and try to swing hard at it.
Yeah, he's a big see ball, hit ball guy, Trevor Story. He's on deck as David Dahl starts off the fourth. Thanks, Jody. Dahl grounded out his first time.
Yeah, it's funny how some guys love the analytics. They want to check out the pitcher's release point and the angle as the ball gets into the hitting zone and the spin rate and all that stuff. Other guys, hey, see it and hit it. Keep it simple.
Something to be said, I'm sure, for both approaches.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day playing, occasionally you get a runner at second base and you steal the catcher signs and you relay them to the hitter. We had hitters that didn't want them. Even if you knew every pitch that's coming, we had hitters on the Giants that didn't want to know. They felt they had a better chance of hitting if they just reacted to what they saw.
That seems unusual. There's
Tell me, even if you have a 10% chance of being right, give me a hint. Come on.
Well, Story had the RBI double in the first that tied it. Greinke has set down all 7 batters he's faced since then. 2 balls and 2 strikes on David Dahl. Boy, Zach, after that 21 pitch first, has been remarkably efficient. 21 pitches in the first, 19 pitches in the second and third innings combined. Look at that. Long first inning, then 10 in the second, 9 in the third. Fastball is low. Full count, 3-2. Story on deck. Zach very efficient, keeping his defense busy. 9 outs, 7 of them on the ground. 3-2. Here's another one. Marte at second. Boy, 8 ground ball outs through 3 1/3 for Greinke.
Well, a nice job that at bat to a dangerous hitter. Started him with the changeup that he fouled out of play. Then a couple fastballs missed the zone. Goes right back to that changeup to get the swing and a miss. Curveball away, fouled off, fastball down, and then right back to the changeup again. And we talked a lot about the Zach Greinke slider tonight. Looks like the changeup's a real good pitch for him. Rarely does he have both of those going on a given night, but our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game shows you he had both the changeup and the curveball working that at bat.
That's generated 5 consecutive ground ball outs for Greinke. Here's Story, who had that RBI double in the first. Got the slow curve. And with that double, it was Story's 40th of the year. He became the first shortstop in Major League Baseball history with 40 doubles, 30 home runs, and 25 stolen bases in the same year. The first ever.
Wow. Yeah, I saw the stat sheet that he had 25 stolen bases going into play tonight, and figuring he's going to try to be aggressive on the bases if the situation calls for it, trying to get to that 30.
And
he already has the home runs, 32.
The RBI was number 100 on the year for him. Story has, after last night, homered 6 times on this current homestand for Colorado. 6 home runs in his last 7 games. 50 pitches, 32 strikes. No, he couldn't check, says Phil Cuzzy, and it's 2-2.
A couple of check swings here that haven't gone the Rockies' way, and the fans have reacted. Yeah, I think they have a complaint that time. That looked like he was able to check.
Fastball away, fouled away. Story had the big hit, really the one that first started the Rockies on their way to a 13-2 win off Silvino Bracho in the 5th. And into the Diamondback bullpen. There's a big spot. Bracho came in for Godley in the 5th to face the heart of the order. Arenado, Dahl, and Story 3, 4, and 5. Big spot for the youngster there. There's the slow curveball, and Greinke gets his 3rd strikeout. Starts him off with a curve, finish with a curve.
.66 miles an hour, up in the zone a little bit. Story way out in front that time.
9 straight set down by Greinke. Here's Cargo, who grounded out to end the 1st. D-backs put 3 defenders on the first base side against him. Greinke tonight now with 3 strikeouts has passed the great El Tiante, Louis Tiant, for 44th on baseball's all-time strikeout list. Got the call there and a fastball away. Greinke now with 2,419 career strikeouts.
That's really impressive when you consider the fact that for the last several years, Zach Greinke's not a power pitcher.
Not even a little bit.
He wants to pitch to contact whenever he can. He doesn't really have what you would call a wipeout pitch. His slider's real good. Some days his changeup is real good. Other days that curveball's been a good weapon for him. But there's no one pitch where you say, oh, I can see why he struck out all those guys.
Well, the slow curve might start to become that pitch as Cargo concedes. Greinke set down 10 straight. We're still tied at 2.
Take a look at our Geico this day in baseball history, this day in history period. September 11th, 2001, Major League Baseball cancels all the games for security reasons. Yankee Stadium was evacuated as a precaution. Just a very sad time in our country's history, a sad time for the game of baseball. People all around the country. I've said it many times, I've never been prouder to be a ball player than coming back from those horrific events on September 11th and getting back out on the field and giving people something to take their mind off the tragedy.
That's popped up, foul ground near the Rocky dugout. McMahon has it and they retire Mathis. Yeah, so the baseball was shut down, came back September 17th. As you said, D-backs and Rockies.
Yeah, right here at Coors Field. You know, leading up to that game, everybody just felt numb. Everybody kind of got back to work. Teams started to practice again. The pitchers were throwing, the batters were hitting, you know, working out at your own ballpark, but it just didn't feel the same until we were actually able to get out on that field. Both teams, first responders holding the flag here on the field at Coors before the ball game, and then Big RJ went out, went 8 innings, picked up his 19th win of the year. Gracie had a big night that night, went 2 for 3, scored 3 runs. Steve Finley had a couple of doubles, drove in 4. Damian Miller hit a homer. And the home plate umpire tonight, Fielden Culberth, was the second base umpire back on September 17, 2001.
How about that? D-backs won that ball game 7-3. Now there is an interesting parallel with that team that you managed and this team that Torey Lovullo is managing right now. Because when baseball did resume on the 17th, Diamondbacks, who were a game and a half up the whole time it seemed like, had a tough stretch. September 17th through the 22nd that year. You went 2-4, had some crushing walk-off losses like this Diamondbacks team has had as of late. 3 walk-off losses over that 6-game stretch, in fact. 1 at home, 2 at Dodger Stadium. That sounds familiar to D-back fans this year. But what I think is so interesting is after that stretch, when things started to look really bad, all the 9-11 aside, you guys shook it off and went on a 9-2 run. And that's the run that this team is waiting to start. So the pattern between that team and this team, I think, very similar here in a very same time period. Greinke hits a little tapper that stays fair. Senzatella scoops it, and they retire him for the second out.
Well, we would take that kind of a run from this year's Diamondbacks team, and really it's not fair. It's like comparing apples and oranges. That 2001 team, as we've talked about many, many times, a very veteran bunch. Guys that had been through the battles with different teams, some of them with the Diamondbacks back in 1999, but they were a team that Torey likes to talk about the moments. You want to talk about a team that looked for moments.
Oh, yeah.
Gracie and Matty Williams and Steve Finley and Gonzo and Reggie Sanders and the 2 big boys on the mound. They knew when a moment was right there in front of them, and more often than not, they took advantage of those moments.
John Jay 0 for 2. But it's interesting that you had that stumble, had all those heartbreaking losses. I mean, walk-off losses, 2 of them in one series at Dodger Stadium. We know what that feels like. But able to put that behind you and go on a 9-2 run to clinch the division. That's what we need right here. LeMahieu at second. 5 in a row set down by Senzatella. 9-pitch inning. We're still tied. Set for the bottom of the 5th inning at Coors Field. Don't miss the final weekend series of the year at Chase Field, September 21st through the 23rd. The D-backs back in the fight for postseason against these Rockies at home in downtown Phoenix. Every game counts. Get your tickets now. Diamondbacks and Rockies at dbacks.com. Ryan McMahon, first pitch swinging. Easy fly ball to center for A.J. Pollock, and Zach Greinke has set down 11 straight Colorado batters.
Boy, and he has been really, really good with his off-speed stuff here tonight. Thrown 8 curveballs, 7 of them for strikes, 9 sliders, 5 for strikes, 12 changeups, 10 for strikes.
That's the first fly ball out recorded by Greinke tonight. It's been all strikeouts and ground balls so far. He has not gone to a 2-0 count all night long. He is jumping ahead and does it again there with the catcher Walters, who struck out his first time.
22 of his 29 off-speed pitches have been strikes. His fastball command has been outstanding tonight, and that's the pitch that he will occasionally throw out of the zone to set up the next pitch. So the percentage of strikes with the fastball isn't always going to be that high.
Here's the curveball, drops it in for a strike. Greinke 60 pitches, 41 strikes. He has struck out 4. He's not walked a batter. And he's retired 11 straight.
You know, what's really amazing about it is you're not supposed to be able to get your breaking pitches to break here at Coors Field.
Saying the same thing about Marquez last night. His curveball and slider were very good last night. Germán Marquez. There he is. He's had a tremendous year. Got his 12th win in the ball game last night. 7 innings, only 1 earned run. He had 11 strikeouts. Two and 2 on the Rockies catcher. The pitcher Senzatella is on deck. Another slider.
Jacob deGrom set a major league record tonight, single season record. 26 straight starts allowing 3 runs or fewer.
He might win Cy Young.
And the Mets lost.
Well, that's that narrative continues.
Yep.
Bounce to shortstop. Ahmed's got it. Another ground ball out for Zach Greinke. Now time for Lowe's. Whole team together. We talked about what's ahead of Torlavello's ball club. Well, what's ahead is the National League's toughest schedule.
Yep. You know, you look at the schedule at the beginning of the season and you kind of speculate, well, this team's going to be good. That team has a chance to be good. Those guys are going to be horrible. And you look at your schedule and see where the tough stretches of the season are, but rarely do they all bunch up in the month of September the way they have for the Diamondbacks this year.
Another first pitch strike from Greinke. That curveball to Senzatella. And he jumps ahead 0-2. Senzatella grounded out his first time up tonight.
There's another foul ball into the on-deck circle for the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon got hit in the head the other day with a foul ball standing in the on-deck circle. Hit in the helmet, rather. He had his batting helmet on, but the ball hit him right in the head, bounced up into the stands. And that one was fairly close, so Charlie kind of backed up around the corner there a little bit.
Senzatella strikes out a 10-pitch fifth. He set down 13 consecutive Rockies. We're still tied 2-2, D-backs and Rockies. A reminder, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. D-backs fans here. I ran into a couple of Diamondback fans at a pizza place down the street. They had never been here before. They'd heard us talk about what a great visit this is, the lower downtown Denver area. Beautiful ballpark. Come out here for a couple of games.
Yeah, it's a great stop, you know, especially if you can stay at one of the downtown hotels, all within walking distance of Coors Field. They've got that 16th Street Mall. You can ride the free tram up and down the length of 16th Street, go do some shopping and movie theaters and bars and restaurants.
Yeah, there's on a nice day like today, there's tons of places just to sit outside, have lunch, have a drink, whatever you want, then walk from there down to the ballpark. It's a great area here. And another beautiful night. We're getting lucky with this Colorado weather, knock on wood. You never know when you come here, but it's been gorgeous so far. Eduardo Escobar leads off the 6th against Antonio Senzatella. D-backs got 2 in the first. Escobar had a 1-out single. Peralta hit a 2-run home run. His 27th of the year, and Senzatella since then has only given up 2 hits. He has walked 1. He struck out 3. Broken bat, Hopper to second. LeMahieu cleans it up. Close at first, but they get him.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Here's Peralta. His home run in the first is 27th of the year. We're talking about Greinke, who has set down 13 straight batters. Senzatella has been very efficient himself. At a 12-pitch third, coming off a 9-pitch fourth and a 9-pitch fifth. D-backs have been pretty aggressive early in counts against Senzatella, and it's not working out. Peralta came into tonight a .354 career hitter in this ballpark, and he homered in his first at bat. His 3rd Coors Field home run this year.
And smoked a line drive to left field to end that 3rd inning. Another hard hit ball the opposite way.
Fastball, there it is. There's another 2-0 fastball and a fastball count. Senzatella, a bit of a throwback in that regard, as we've mentioned before. Long set of signs from Walters there. Antonio Senzatella, just 23, out of Venezuela. Grew up idolizing King Felix Hernandez. Of course, Felix is the king, so they started calling Senzatella the Prince, El Principito. And like Greinke tonight, he's been using his defenders. 10 ground ball outs for Senzatella. Fastball up and in. It's full 3-2. Goldie on deck. Chop to first. Backhander by McMahon, who makes a nice play.
McMahon almost turned that into a tough play. Came running in trying to get the short hop and actually got a tough in-between hop that time, but able to make the backhanded play. Whoa, man, I mean, that ball came up shoulder high on that big hop. He was trying to smother it right off the ground.
They thought he might be their first baseman. Good young player, Ryan McMahon. Goldie has walked and grounded out. McMahon's been in the minors for much of the year, while Desmond has wound up settling in at first. Goldie single and had an RBI last night. He was 1 for 3. Waves and a slow breaking ball there, and he's down 0-2.
You mentioned Ian Desmond. That's a perfect example of peaking at the right time. Desmond's had a bad year by just about any measure you want to look at, but he's been swinging the bat well here in the month of September. If you're only going to get hot for 1 month, make it be the one you need the most.
And McMahon, a second-round pick by the Rockies back in 2013. They keep waiting for him to become the guy. He's still only 23, so he's got plenty of time. 0-2 to Goldie. Just missed away with that fastball. Senzatella was halfway home. 97 down and away.
Not a strike. A good pitcher's pitch, just off the outside corner at the knees, but not a strike.
See Walters try and frame it there, lift that glove up just a bit. Field and Culbreth not fooled. 1-2 now. Lays off a slider and he's back even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goldie with that walk in the first inning extended his own Diamondbacks record. He's now reached base safely in 47 consecutive road games. Tried the slider again. AJ on deck. He doubled his last time up. And now Walters is going to have to go out there and check with Senzatella. There's a little miscommunication here. They do not want to make a mistake to Goldie in this ballpark. Goldie in 7 games here this year coming into tonight had doubled twice, tripled, and hit 5 home runs. This is in the air, deep to center field. Blackman backing up. It bounces off the wall. Goldie at it again in Coors Field. That's a double. He's at second with 2 outs for AJ.
A 96-mile-an-hour heater on that outer third of the plate. Blackman was shading Goldie a little bit toward left center field, just a couple of steps, but he can't catch up to that ball from his position. Has to play it on a hop. Goldie on at second base with that 2-out double.
His 9th extra base hit in this ballpark this year. Diamondbacks 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. AJ doubled to right center his last time up. Chops it to third. That stays fair. Arenado can't make the bare hand play. Infield hit for Pollock. They're on the corners with 2 outs for Ketel Marte.
Well, it was going to be an awfully tough play for Arenado anyway, with AJ Speed running down that first baseline. His momentum was kind of leading him into foul territory. It was going to be an across the body throw. Not so sure he would have had AJ anyhow, but Diamondbacks have him at first and third for Ketel Marte. A chance to bust out on top here.
Need a 2-out hit. Marte has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. He has struggled this year from the left-hand side of the plate. Only .213 coming in. He's a .317 hitter from the right-hand side. That's a bullet fair down the line. Goldie is home and Pollock is flying around third. He's coming home. Marte digs for third. He's in there with a 2-run triple. The major league leader, his 11th triple this year. A big 2-out hit, and it's 4-2 Diamondbacks.
Outstanding. You knew that was going to score Goldie easily from third base. The question was, what's going to happen down in the corner to allow A.J. Pollock to score? That ball kind of checked up, got underneath the pad over there, forced Carlos Gonzalez to come in 3 or 4 more steps, and then his throw is wide at home plate with A.J.'s speed. He turns it into a 2-run triple.
Boy, that whizzed by McMahon at first. Steve Foster, the pitching coach, is out there. There's Marte adding to his already major league leading triple total. So how about that? A double, a single, and a triple, all with 2 outs. And it's 4-2 Diamondbacks.
Boy, this is how an inning can sneak up and get away from you quickly if you're the Colorado Rockies and Antonio Senzatella. 2 quick outs in this inning. Soft contact by both Escobar and Peralta. And Goldie with a blast to the gap. A.J. Pollock with the infield single. And Ketel Marte, good to see him do something left-handed. Jerk that ball down the line.
He started losing some of those left-handed bats to Daniel Descalso. But that'll help get him back on the radar screen. Pull it down the line at first. Checking those matchups. It's about that time. Here's Nick Ahmed, who was twice grounded out to shortstop. Lays off a slider, 1-0. Tried another one out there. Well, you never know when Coors Field is going to come up and bite you as a pitcher. And Senzatella coming off a 9-pitch 4th, 9-pitch 5th. Suddenly, after getting the first 2 batters in the 6th, it's turned into a 20-pitch inning for him. It can just come up at any moment. And now he's behind on Ahmed, 2 balls and no strikes. Mathis on deck. He just keeps trying to land that slider for a strike. And he's behind 3-0. Jake McGee has started warming up in the Rocky bullpen, the left-hander. Senzatella, 90 pitches, 56 strikes. They'll concede the at-bat to Ahmed, put him on. And Mathis comes up. There's McGee, who has struggled. So here's Mathis, who has singled and popped up. 1 for 2. Mathis hit a ball off the wall in right field for a long single back in the 2nd. Marte's at third. Ahmed is at first. 2 outs and 2 runs in.
Notice how the rhythm of this game has changed. It was batters running up to the plate, swinging at the first pitches. Had a couple quick outs in this inning, and then suddenly a 2 spot on the board. Runners on the corners, and Senzatella has really slowed this game down now.
He's really having trouble throwing strikes. They were making it easy on him before. Everybody out after 1 or 2 pitches. Jeff 2 for 8 this year with the bases loaded. Ahead 1-0. Fastball called for a strike by Fielden Culver.
That's similar to that 96-mile-an-hour fastball he threw in Goldie's at bat that was just off the outside corner, and he wanted it but didn't get it. That time he got it.
This is down low. On the ropes here. He's turned back into that 2-pitch guy that he's been for so long. You're seeing just fastballs and sliders here. He's thrown 23 pitches in the inning, 14 outside the strike zone. Dodgers have already lost. They lost again at Cincinnati. Reds beat them 3-1. Two on and two out. Mathis down the line. Can't keep it fair. Ahmed broke for second, then stopped that time. '25th pitch of this inning for Antonio Senzatella on the way. And a 25 pitch first. Now a 25 pitch sixth. D-backs scored 2 runs in each of those innings. Ahmed breaks for second. No throw from Walters as he bobbles the ball. Now a single can tack on 2 more. 5th stolen base of the year for Nick. Full count, 3-2. Down the line in right, and that one is slicing into the seats. D-backs have out hit Colorado 7-3. Peralta, a 2-run home run in the first. Marte, a 2-run triple here in the 6th. One more time on 3-2. Got him. D-back strand 2, but they get 2. All with 2 outs. Goldie got it started with a double. Pollock an infield single. Marte triples them home. 4-2 Diamondbacks. Have a 4-2 lead. MLB at Bat, your #1 D-backs app. You can customize your experience, catch every moment, get D-backs home screen icons, and features like live radio broadcast, the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, the whole thing. Download MLB at Bat today. The familiar walk-up music of Charlie Blackmon leads off the home half of the 6th inning. Blackmon has doubled and grounded out. He scored a run. Zach Greinke has retired the last 13 Rocky batters he's faced. He now has a 4-2 lead. That one misses. Greinke so far, no walks, 5 strikeouts. He's got 9 ground ball outs behind him. He has not gone to a 2-0 count all night long. That's in the air for Peralta in left. Just the second fly ball out for Greinke. 1 down in the 6th. Fans on this Patriot Day, USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. DJ LeMahieu 0 for 2. Boy, that slider, which has made steady progress lately for Greinke, as we've mentioned, maybe tonight the best we've seen it all year.
Which once again is highly surprising in this ballpark. For years you've heard pitchers come in here to Coors and say they just couldn't get their slider to break, they couldn't get their splitter to move, they couldn't get their curveball to break. Zach Greinke not having any issues with that slider here tonight.
Greinke 2-0 in 3 starts against the Rockies this year. His ERA versus Colorado is 2.33. And he has pitched a brilliant ball game here tonight after a rocky first inning. Rockies bullpen has been busy. Jake McGee, the left-hander, on the left there. He's been warming up for a while. Scott Oberg, the right-hander. 2-2 on LeMahieu. Zach Greinke was 12-5 at the end of July. And at that point, he'd gone 7-0 over a span of 8 starts. But since the beginning of August, Greinke has won only once in his last 7 starts. Trying to reverse that trend here tonight. He's on his way. That one's foul in front of Stu Cole at third.
And continues to dominate by commanding his off-speed stuff. 30 of the 41 off-speed pitches he's thrown in this game have been in the strike zone. The curve, slider, and changeup.
This is contrary to his other Coors Field start here this year. That's back on June the 8th. Gave up 4 runs, 8 hits, and 5 2/3. Couple of home runs in that start. A whole lot better here tonight. That's lifted along the line in right. Jay on the run coming in. And he's got it.
A good assortment of pitches in that at bat against a tough hitter, DJ LeMahieu, a guy that sprays the ball all over the field. Really good opposite field hitter. They're having some technical difficulties. We were going to show you that at bat against DJ LeMahieu, mixing up the fastball and slider, but what the heck, you just saw it.
Well, the computers don't like the elevation here. Even computers are affected at Coors Field. Greinke 75 pitches, 51 strikes. Arenado had an RBI double in the first. Well, it's amazing. 3 of the first 5 Colorado batters in the ball game hit doubles off the wall against Greinke. Blackmon just missed a leadoff homer by maybe a foot high off the wall in right. Arenado blistered one over Peralta's head in left. Story hit one down the line in the corner. And it looked like it was going to be a short night for Greinke. But he has retired every single batter he's faced since that Story double in the first. 15 up, 15 down. One and two on Arenado. Way out in front of that slow curve.
It's that Inspector Gadget swing. It just gets longer and longer as that pitch works its way out there off the outside corner. You try to extend your arms, loosen the grip on the handle of the bat so you get a little more extension.
Another one right there. Good slider from Greinke, keeping it down. 80 pitches, 55 for strikes. He has struck out 5. He's not walked a batter.
Congratulations in order to the Boston Red Sox, who punched their postseason ticket tonight with a win over the Toronto Blue Jays. Their 99th win of the season. They're guaranteed a postseason berth. Have been since about June.
That one is down the line and fair. Arenado with 1 double already in the ball game pulls into second, and that snaps a stretch of 15 consecutive Rockies retired by Zack Greinke.
Got in on him just a little bit, but Arenado strong enough to muscle it out there. Sounded like he may have cracked his bat on that one, but finds that left field corner for the 2-out double.
Colorado's first hits, and Story doubled in the first. So here's David Dahl, who has twice grounded out to second, coming off his first career grand slam in the ball game last night. That one is down the line and fair. This will get Arenado home. It's a 4-3 ball game. Dahl will stop at second. Back-to-back 2-out doubles, and the D-backs lead is down to 1.
Well, went down to get that curveball. You can see Jeff Mathis was ready to block it in the dirt. Somehow Dahl goes down and picks it right off his shoe tops and keeps it fair down into that right field corner.
He's going to be a big part of this Rockies' future, David Dahl, if he can stay healthy. First round pick by Colorado in 2012, the 10th overall pick in the draft that year out of high school in Birmingham, Alabama. He's down there at second as the tying run. Mathis out to the mound. And Story is the hitter. Here comes Mike Butcher.
Tomorrow the D-backs continue this series with the Rockies. Coverage begins tomorrow and Wednesday at 5 o'clock, starting with D-backs live pregame show right here on Fox Sports Arizona and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
And that's going to be a tremendous pitching matchup tomorrow night for you. Patrick Corbin against John Gray. It's a rematch of opening day. A couple of opening day starters. Greinke trying to get out of the 6th. Tying run at second, 2 down. Story had an RBI double in the first. He struck out his last time up. Story with 5 career home runs against Zack Greinke. Just inside with a fastball. Broken bat gets by Greinke. Marte is there. And they strand Dahl, but the Rockies get 1. It's 4-3 Diamondbacks after 6. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. It's a rematch of opening day at Chase Field this year when Patrick Corbin beat John Gray. D-backs won that one 8-2. And here tomorrow, it's Corbin and Gray. Diamondback Live pregame show starts at 5 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. Here's the Gray Wolf. New pitcher for Colorado to start this top of the 7th inning, left-hander Jake McGee, who has really struggled this year. Now, he's one of these guys that got all kinds of money. They gave him a 3-year, $27 million deal, and that ERA is almost 6.5. So they're trying to get him fixed. And Greinke will bat for himself to start the 7th.
Yeah, he's only at 84 pitches in the ball game.
84 pitches, 58 strikes.
And really not a lot of high pressure pitches in this ball game so far. He really cruised from the 2nd through the 5th inning.
So it's Greinke, Jay, and Escobar, 9, 1, and 2 in the Diamondbacks 7. That one is low. Well, this game has followed a weird pattern. D-backs got 2 in the top half of the 1st inning. Rockies got 2 in the bottom half. And then nothing for a long time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody did much of anything. Greinke belts that one out to left, and Dahl will play it on a hop. Zach's got a leadoff single. And then in the top of the 6th, Diamondbacks with 2 outs hit a double, got a run in. Rockies in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs, a double and a run in. There's the Greinke swing. Patrick Kivlehan, applause. Patrick Kivlehan was taking some ground balls down there at third base for a while before the game today, so we may see him down there at some point in the future. Here's John Jay 0 for 3.
That's another phenomenon you see in the month of September. There are so many players that it's hard for everybody to get the work in during batting practice that you would normally get, taking your ground balls, throwing the bases, whatever the case may be. So after the Diamondbacks were done hitting today, that's when Kivlehan and Ildemaro Vargas and Christian Walker came back out onto the field and took their ground balls after the D-backs were done hitting.
Kivlehan had his first base hit as a Diamondback in his first at bat last night.
Yeah, it's not like Salt River where you can send them out to a backfield to get their work in.
Yeah, pretty soon we're going to have pitchers doing their running in the outfield during the games. 0-2 on Jay. Jay hitting .246 versus lefties this year. Greinke at first, no outs.
Kind of an unusual defensive setup here for the Rockies. Apparently they feel that John Jay is not going to pull the ball. David Dahl is not far off the left field line.
Well, Jay is a guy that likes to go to left center. He'll slice one out there a lot.
Yeah, Charlie Blackmon several steps over into the gap in left center. Cargo playing pretty much straight away in right. Big gap in right center.
Well, Jake McGee has been all over the place this year. Nice block on that slider by Tony Walters. This is a guy who's been an extremely effective reliever for a long time and just kind of fell off the cliff this year. He's been one of the better left-hand relief arms in this division for a while. Something went wrong this year for him. Late time granted by Field and Culbreth right as McGee was in his windup. Or delivery.
Seen a lot of that this year, that late timeout. You know, the home plate umpire does not have to grant timeout if he feels that pitcher's too close to being ready to deliver the ball to home plate, but late timeout from Culbreth that time.
You know, Cubby gave him the timeout about a half a second before McGee went into his delivery, so we'll do it again here. John Jay looking for his first base hit in this ballpark this year. He is 0 for 24 at Coors Field this season. Bullpen busy for the Rockies. Scott Oberg and Yency Almonte warming up down there. They appeal. No, he didn't. C.B. Bucknor. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on John Jay.
Good check that time.
Accurately called. I figured I'd give it a shot.
Strange things happen once in a while.
This is why Torrey likes John Jay as the leadoff man. He sees a lot of pitches. He's a good fit for this spot. Very patient approach. And as Torrey likes to put it, John Jay has a great understanding of what each particular at bat expects, because it's always a different situation every time you're up there, and John Jay never loses focus on that. Good take right there. Fastball down and away. Walters slides way out there to get that one. And it's full 3-2. Escobar on deck.
This is 4th at bat in the ball game, and John Jay's already seen 21 pitches.
There you go. Very patient. Plus, every once in a while, he's going to get plunked and get on base. So there's that. He's been hit by pitches 15 times as a Diamondback. Little flare. Here comes Blackman on the run, and he's got it. Frankie back to first. 9-pitch at bat by John Jay, 1 down. And Escobar is the hitter. He'll flip around now and bat for the right-hand side against the lefty McGee.
You know, and the thing about an at bat like that, or like John Jay usually puts together over the course of the ball game, it may not result in a base hit or an RBI, but it could pay benefits for the guys hitting behind him in the order. You extend that pitcher, make him throw 8, 9, 10 pitches to get you out. The next guy in the lineup does the same thing. Eventually, Jake McGee's going to make a mistake on somebody coming up behind those hitters.
Almonte and Oberg warming up in the bullpen for Bud Black. He's going to take the ball from McGee, and we'll see Scott Oberg, the right-hander, on his way in. We'll take a break. It's 4-3 Diamondbacks in Denver. Who's had an interesting year for the Rockies. Got off to a slow start, was sent to AAA Albuquerque April 24th. Really struggled. Was recalled at the end of May, and since he's been brought back up from the minors, Oberg is 6-0 with a 1.24 ERA. So he has been outstanding all summer long in that Rocky bullpen. And he'll face Eduardo Escobar with Zach Greinke at first and 1 out.
That's a great motivator. When you've had a taste of the big leagues and go back there to stay on exit 419 off the freeway and eating at a gas station every day, going to a minor league ballpark, suddenly you regain your momentum to get back to the big leagues.
So Escobar winds up batting left-handed. He singled and scored in the first. Yeah, Oberg and Ottavino have been the two guys that have really settled down this Rocky bullpen. Remember this summer, their bullpen was a dumpster fire. It was one blown save after another. But they have righted the ship with these two guys. And Wade Davis has settled down in the closer's role. Oberg comes in and gets the double play ball. The stretch in Colorado, it's 4-3 Diamondbacks. Great ball game going here. D-backs lead the Rockies 4-3. Our Gila River game summary: Diamondbacks 2 in the first on a Peralta home run, 2 in the sixth on a 2-run triple by Ketel Marte. Zach Greinke, after giving up 2 in the first, outstanding. He retired 15 straight batters at one point. And it's 4-3 D-backs as Carlos Gonzalez leads off the seventh. Greinke back out there at 84 pitches. Fargo has grounded out, struck out 0 for 2. Adam Ottavino up in the Colorado bullpen. There's Ottavino. He's been one of their key late inning guys lately. Marte on the outfield grass. First 2-0 count of the ball game for Zach Greinke there, and he retires Gonzalez. Here's McMahon, who's 0 for 2. Ryan McMahon Singled as a pinch hitter last night. He's been up and down from AAA Albuquerque all year. Diamondbacks 4 runs, 8 hits. Rockies 3 runs, 5 hits. They had 3 of their 5 hits in the first against Greinke. Greinke gave up doubles off the wall to 3 of the first 5 batters he faced, and then set down 15 straight. Rockies got one back with back-to-back 2-out doubles in the 6th, Arenado and Dahl. So Greinke has given up 5 hits in the ball game, all of them doubles. Here's the slow curve for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Big rolling curveball out there on the outside corner. Jeff Mathis really sitting back that time, letting the ball travel a long way. That was a breaking ball up in the zone. You want to catch it as deep as you possibly can and make it look like it was right there.
Broken bat Tapper, got to hurry for Ahmed, and they get him. Hit very slowly over the head of Greinke, and Ahmed cleans it up.
Like he's been doing all year. A little bouncer gets over Greinke's head. Nick kind of waits for a good hop right there. Looked like it was going to be a much closer play at first base, but that strong arm of Nick Ahmed turns it into an easy out at first base.
Tony Walters, the catcher, is the scheduled hitter. And here comes Matt Holliday. Holliday is returned to Colorado. It's been an interesting story. A dozen games with the Rockies this year, and he's hit .355 with 2 home runs. And at the age of 38 decided, you know what, I think I'm not ready to retire. So he came back to Colorado, where it all started for him near the end of last month. Played a season with the Yankees last year. Looked like he was done, but not so fast.
A .267 lifetime hitter against Zach Greinke, 8 for 30 with a couple of home runs.
90 pitches, 62 strikes for Greinke. Fastball is low. Holliday, originally a 7th round pick by Colorado in the 1998 draft. Broke his bat, foul. Andrew Chafin for signs of life in the Diamondback bullpen. He's ready, says Mike Fetters. There's the wave of the cap. Pitcher spot is up next, and Gerardo Parra is in the on-deck circle. So Torey Lovullo getting his lefty ready should Holliday reach. And you've got the left-hander Blackman behind Parra in the leadoff spot. Holliday, of course, played his first 5 seasons here in Colorado. He was a star on their 2007 World Series club. And parts of 8 seasons in St. Louis, a Yankee last year, now back with the Rockies. Lifted in the air, deep to right field. Off the wall, high off that screen out there. He just missed a home run that would have tied the game. Matt Holliday, a 2-out double. That's the screen that they put up a couple of years ago to make this ballpark a little less hitter friendly, and it cost Holliday a homer right there.
We got a lot of backspin on that ball to the gap in right center. John Jay got back to the wall, makes a leaping attempt, but hit high off that screen. You're absolutely right. That ball's out of here with the fence that they had here in the past.
Boy, that looked like it missed a homer by inches. Garrett Hampson, who we saw in the ball game last night, comes in to run for Holliday. He's the tying run at second with 2 outs, and Parra will hit for the pitcher. Here comes Torey Lovullo to get Greinke. Parra is announced. Chafin, the left-hander, ready in the bullpen. And we'll take a break from Colorado. D-backs lead 4-3. Rockies threatening back after this. Labello counters with his lefty, Andrew Chafin, and now Black counters with the right hand hitting Chris Iannetta. On to face Chafin, who makes his 71st appearance of the year. Garrett Hampson running for Holiday is the tying run at second with 2 outs in the 7th.
Bud Black was going to need a catcher in the ball game anyway. Matt Holliday hit for Tony Walters, so this works out pretty well for Bud Black to just have Iannetta take this at bat here in the 9th spot in the lineup against the left-handed pitcher, and then stay in the ball game defensively behind the plate.
Big out to get for Chafin. Here comes Chris Iannetta, the former D-back. Iannetta homered here Saturday against the Dodgers, 226 and 10 home runs. Hampson running for Holiday. He's got really good speed. Big stolen base numbers in the minors for Garrett Hampson. Now Iannetta has caught Chafin a million times. How big a factor is that here?
You can think yourself into a really bad slump. He thinks that I think that he thinks that I think I'm going to look for a fastball here. I think it works to a hitter's advantage.
Starts him off with a slider,
but not as much as you might think.
Big out for Chafin. Brad Ziegler warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Bounced a slider up there. Well, we've talked a lot lately because we've seen a lot of it. Chafin getting much more aggressive with his fastball. But he starts Iannetta off with a couple of sliders. Three straight sliders. Now, if you fall too far behind, you do have first base open. And you've got the lefty Blackman on deck, but obviously you'd like to avoid that if you can. And you've got Ziegler warming up in the pen. Don't want to put the tying and go-ahead runs on base. He is ready, says Mike Fetters. Another slider, all sliders so far, and he's fallen behind 3-1. Blackman will be next. Good one right there. Dotted that slider down and away, and it's full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Iannetta has yet to see a fastball. There it is. First fastball fouled away.
You're talking about Chris Iannetta catching Andrew Chafin before, and this at bat obviously all sliders until that last fastball. Right here's where I'd like to see Andrew shake his head a couple times. Just in case Chris Iannetta has an idea of what Andrew might do out there on the mound. You see him shake his head, all of a sudden all bets are off. Another slider.
Well, we've often seen catchers shake their heads, telling the pitcher to do the same. We haven't seen that yet in this sequence. Well, he knows it's one of two pitches. There's no secrets here with Chafin. And he missed down low with a slider. And here comes Charlie Blackmon. An 8-pitch base on balls for Iannetta. Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon doubled and scored to lead off the ball game. 1 for 3. Blackmon versus left-handers this year. 288 and 9 home runs. He can defend himself against left-hand pitching. Six for 22 career against Chafin. He's keeping that slider down. He threw a beauty to Iannetta. But nothing that would tempt a hitter like Blackmon, and now it's 2 balls and no strikes. Last night, Blackmon's 4th 3-hit game this month. He has been red hot, hitting over 420 in September. Fastball misses badly. 3-0. LeMahieu on deck.
Boy, make it a good pitch, a quality strike here on the 3-0 pitch. You know Charlie Blackmon has the green light if it's something to his liking.
Looks at a fastball, 3-1. We've seen Andrew in these situations able to throw that fastball in on these lefties and do it very effectively. We'll see what they want to do here on 3 balls and a strike. Mathis sets up, down and away. Bounced a slider up there, and the bases are full of Rockies. And LeMahieu comes up. He's got Ziegler ready in the pen. Chafin has faced 2 and walked 2. LeMahieu tonight 0 for 3. Here comes Torey Lovullo. They're going to ask Brad Ziegler to get out of another bases loaded mess, holding on to a 1-run lead. We'll be back from Denver right after this. couple of ground ball outs, gave up a 2-out double to Matt Holliday. Chafin came on, walked Iannetta, walked Blackman. And now with 2 down, the bases are full for DJ LeMahieu, and the cavalry has arrived. It's Brad Ziegler.
74th appearance of the season for Brad Ziegler. ERA just under 4.
LeMahieu 0 for 3.
3 for 14 lifetime against Brad Ziegler is DJ LeMahieu.
So here we go. Bases full, 2 outs. Just missed in.
Tries that front door slider. I think Jeff Mathis wanted it away.
Missed in there again, the sinker that time. Right back to it for a strike, 2-1. LeMahieu had a 3-hit night last night. He's had 5 consecutive multi-hit games. 0 for 3 so far tonight. Here's the 2-1. Bounce to second. Marte has it. Goldie's there, and Brad Ziegler pulls another rabbit out of another hat. It stays 4-3 D-backs.
DJ LeMahieu with the slider off the plate inside, comes back with a sinker that misses inside, right down the middle on the 2-0 pitch. And then a sinker with some downward movement away. Easy ground ball to Ketel Marte for the final out right there. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Boy, Brad Ziegler, what a save that was. Sometimes the biggest outs are in the 6th or 7th inning, and that was certainly a great example of that right there. New battery for Colorado. Iannetta remains in the game. He takes over the catching duty for Tony Walters after they pinch hit for Walters. And here is number 0, Adam Ottavino. He has been outstanding, a 1.93 ERA in 67 appearances. Iannetta behind the plate. Peralta, Goldie, Pollock 2 up. 3, 4, and 5 in the Diamondbacks' 8th. David hit a 2-run home run in the first, his 27th of the year. Now with 78 runs batted in, that matches his career high. Fastball misses up. Ottavino among National League relievers, 5th with that 1.93 ERA. He is 2nd in strikeouts. Opponents hitting only 152 against him.
With David Peralta with that opposite field home run back in the first inning. He has 10 opposite field homers this year, 2nd in the National League to Paul Goldschmidt.
That's why they're 3 and 4 in this order. Ouch. And hard slider. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, right on the foot.
It looked like it may have hit that little piece of the pad that extends down there on the inside of the ankle. Doesn't make it feel any better, but lessens the impact.
I'm sure that's what he's thinking right now.
It feels fine.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Well, the way the Diamondback bullpen has been lately, I'm sure you're wondering, all right, now what do we do? Well, it looks like it might be Brad Ziegler. You've got Arenado, Dahl, and Story coming up, the big boys 3, 4, and 5. And Brad, who got that final out of the 7th, might come back out for the 8th. There's no one warming up right now. Full count on David, 3 and 2. There's ball 4, leadoff walk. Ottavino loses Peralta. That brings up Goldie. Goldie has walked, doubled, and scored tonight. He's 1 for 2.
You want to talk about a rally out of nowhere. The Diamondbacks back in the 6th with 2 outs and an 0-2 count on Paul Goldschmidt. Managed to come back and score 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk. All with 2 outs.
Got that hard cutter up and in. Yeah, Goldie had the 2-out double. AJ had a single. Marte came up with the big one, the 2-run triple down the right field line. That made it 4-2. Rockies got 1 back in the bottom of the 6th. Back-to-back 2-out doubles by Arenado and Dahl. Fastballs outside, says Field and Culbreth, 1-1. Brew Chief back there behind home plate tonight. Fastball up and away at 95, and it's 1-2. Goldie's double in the 6th inning. His 9th extra base hit here at Coors Field this year. 3 doubles, a triple, and 5 home runs.
Got a flat slider that time. Started inside and worked right back to the middle of the plate.
Dodgers have already lost. Cincinnati beat LA again. 3-1 the final tonight at Great American Ballpark. They beat Ryu.
Talked about that Cubs Brewers game earlier. Cubs held on to win that one 3-0.
Oh, another one. Boy, he gives you that slider, the hard 4-seamer, that good hard cutter right there, but he missed one right out over the plate. Lays off a slider down, and Goldie back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. AJ on deck. He has doubled, singled, and scored tonight. Way outside with a fastball. And it's full 3-2. So he's gone 3-2 on the first 2 he's faced here in the 8th. McMahon still holding Peralta on the bag down there.
Yeah, Chris Iannetta behind the plate has caught 4 out of 43 attempted base stealers this year. 9%.
8th pitch of the at-bat right here. Long set by Ottavino. Peralta takes off, got a good jump. Goldie strikes out, and David is in there.
Boy, David got a great jump over there at first base. Really can't hang this one on Iannetta. Huge jump on Ottavino. Took a while to unwind that crossfire action, and to top it off, LeMahieu drops the ball out there at second base. David Peralta into scoring position with 1 out.
For AJ Pollock, who's 2 for 3. AJ starting to heat up. Tripled last night. He singled and doubled tonight. He's hit safely now in 6 of 7.
D-backs 2 for 5 tonight with runners in scoring position. Of course, the Ketel Marte triple scored 2. A.J. Pollock singled in the 6th. A run did not score.
Ottavino so far, 7 balls, 7 strikes. AJ swinging at the first pitch. Story's at shortstop. Peralta moves up. Close at first, but they got him 2 down.
Boy, just that little look to third base by Trevor Story made that a really close play at first. Little 3-hopper hit right to the shortstop. He checked at third. Very close over there at first. I think the Diamondbacks are going to take a look.
The headsets are coming on here. Here's a look. Oh, he's in there.
Not much of a stretch over there by McMahon. Kind of just stood straight up and let the ball travel to him rather than extend out there and try to shorten that throw.
It's a big call. This would make it 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Sure looked like from that last angle that AJ beat the throw. And you're right about Story. He thought for half a beat about going to 3rd to get to Peralta before they threw to 1st, and that may have been the difference.
Well, props to A.J. Pollock for hustling down the line. You hit a 2-hopper right at the opposing shortstop. You just concede, well, that's going to be an out, but A.J. busted it down that line and may be rewarded here.
Diamondbacks have challenged video review 38 times this year. They've been successful 23 of 38, so a very good percentage. They have an excellent video coordinator in Alan Campbell. They're showing the replay over and over on the Coors Field scoreboard here, and no one is saying anything, which means even the Rockies fans are convinced that AJ's safe.
Yeah, he's safe all the way. You see McMahon didn't stretch until after he had the ball in his glove.
Well, here we go. Here comes Fielden Culbreth. Safe at first. D-backs win another challenge. So now it's 1st and 3rd, 1 out for Ketel Marte.
Yeah, right there, foot on the bag, ball not even in the glove yet.
Well, Marte had one of the big hits of the ball game, a 2-out, 2-run triple in the 6th. His 11th triple this year, the most in the majors. Pollock takes off. What a jump he got on Ottavino. Oh my goodness, that was absolute larceny. 11 stolen base of the year for Pollock.
Ottavino, I mentioned, with that crossfire delivery, he kind of bends over at the waist and stands back up again. He takes a long time to unload, and AJ just took advantage. The Rockies didn't even attempt to throw that time.
Base hit can tack on 2 runs. And there it is! Marte again! Peralta scores! Here comes AJ! Make it 6-3 D-backs. Ketel Marte, his second 2-run hit tonight.
A breaking ball came right back to the middle of the plate that time, and Marte is all over it. Clean line drive over the head of McMahon into right field to score 2 more. Stay hot.
Boy, you get Ketel Marte going where he hits in the order 6th or 7th. That really lengthens things out and gives you a productive bat down there. He's knocked in 4 of the Diamondbacks' 6 runs. And here's Nick Ahmed.
He's knocked in 4 runs on 2 pitches. His triple was on the first pitch of the at-bat. That 2-run single right there on the second pitch of this at-bat.
That's going to get you, Mr. Brenly.
Yeah, road tacos. We like it.
Tuesday tacos. Diamondbacks now 6 runs, 10 hits. Rockies 3 runs, 6 hits. Still only 1 out. Ahmed has grounded out twice. He was intentionally walked his last time up and stole the base. Bullpen gets very busy for the Rockies. Diamondback bullpen still crickets down there. After Ziegler got the final out at the bottom of the 7th, a bases loaded jam. NC Almonte was warming up earlier. 4 RBIs for Ketel Marte, ties a career high. Last time he did it back in July against, wait for it, the Rockies.
Oh.
Which is coincidence, not irony. One and one on Nick. D-backs with a 2-run first, a 2-run 6th, and now a 2-run 8th. Foul ground, first base side. Noonan. For a second, I thought I saw. Yes, I did see Brad Ziegler wearing a batting helmet, and now he's choosing a bat. Now you want to keep him in the game, apparently, to work the bottom of the 8th inning. So there he is.
Well, there is also Daniel Descalso standing there, so I imagine it all depends on what happens in these next couple of at-bats, whether Ziegler will get an opportunity to get his hacks or possibly see Daniel Descalso with runners in scoring position.
Do you recall ever seeing that Brad Ziegler bat?
No.
Yeah, nor do I.
It just doesn't look normal.
Now I kind of want to see it. Let's keep going. Ahmed chases a high heater, and Ottavino gets his second strikeout.
Well, Descalso's a man that comes out of the dugout to be in the on-deck circle.
Just to make it look good.
Send a message over there to Bud Black. I've got a hitter available in the on-deck circle.
Jeff had a single in the 2nd inning. Brad Ziegler, by the way, it was big of you to bring your staff on this road trip. This is a big series, so you, at your own expense, I should point out, have brought your staff here. And they are reporting that Brad Ziegler, 7 career plate appearances, 1 for 7. Archie Bradley and Jake Diekman throwing down there.
Well, something I learned in college, hitchhiking is free.
Wow, it's a hard job being on your staff. Well, now with a 3-run lead, it might change the equation just a bit. But Brad is at the ready just in case. 1-0 on Mathis. Boy, how many times can you throw over there? Brad Ziegler's only career hit. Want to take a guess?
Here at Coors Field.
No. Good try, though. That was good. June 20th of 2012. Hello, Steven Susan. Against the Cubs. That's his 1 for 7. Your staff, despite the sore thumbs from hitchhiking, at the top of their game. There he is, lurking in the weeds. You know how those football coaches, they get on the blocking sleds and they yell at the guys and they have to push the sled?
Yeah.
That's how I always envision you and your staff.
No.
1-2. Marte takes off, called strike 3. And Mathis strikes out. Marte, another big hit. It's 6-3 Diamondbacks.
The 5-3 win on Friday night, getting out of a big mess, and he did it in the bases-loaded jam last inning. And I was talking to Brad about his success. He said his turnaround was really in June. He had some back issues and chiropractic care, fixed that. Ever since then, he has felt like a new man. Plus, guys, since that 2014 knee surgery, the microfracture surgery, he has a really elaborate, about an hour-long pregame routine every day to feel healthy.
Nolan Arenado leads off the bottom of the game. Brad Ziegler back out there. Arenado has doubled twice and scored twice. Thanks, Jody. Brad Ziegler still getting it done. It's amazing, right that spot right there. It's amazing how consistently he can put it right there. Both with a breaking ball that's moving away from the right-hand batter and a sinker that's moving toward the right-hand batter. But everything is down, down, down.
Boy, a real chance to flip the script here for Brad Ziegler and the Diamondbacks bullpen. You know, when a team's struggling, we always talk about offensively, guys want to be the man to hit the big home run to jumpstart the offense. Right now, the Diamondbacks need 6 big outs out of that bullpen.
Well, here comes one. Mathis is under it, and they retire Arenado to start the 8th. That's a big one right there. And now we'll look at David Dahl.
Tapper off the plate, straight up in the air. Jeff Mathis takes charge right away. Brad Ziegler says, "You take it." Nice play. Easy first out of the inning.
Dahl had the 2-out RBI double that made it 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th. He hit the grand slam here last night. This one out to right center. Almost hit Chris Conroy, the second base umpire, with that one. It's a 1-out single.
It had to be placed perfectly because it wasn't hit very hard, but just did sneak through that right side.
And here comes the dangerous Trevor Story. An RBI double in the first. He's 1 for 3. So we'll see if Brad can get Story to chase something down. Story still has a lot of swing and miss. Jams that sinker inside. 0-1. David Dahl will run. He's got 5 stolen bases, but you don't want to run anyone out here for Colorado. Diekman and Bradley still warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. There's your double play ball. Ahmed for 1 and 2. Brad Ziegler sends us to the 9th, 6-3 D-backs. Conditioning and plumbing, cool plays of the game. All this with 2 outs. Goldie got it started a double. Pollock has the infield single. Arenado can't make a play. And then it's Ketel Marte bangs a 2-run triple just by McMahon at first.
Well, that escalated quickly. 2 outs and 2 strikes on Goldie, and before you know it, the Diamondbacks had a 2 spot on the board. Nicely done.
And then Marte added the 2-run single in the 8th inning. It's like Blondie. Call me. Yes, that was Deborah Harry. Harrison Musgrave, the left-hander, 26-year-old rookie, is on to pitch the top of the 9th inning, and Christian Walker will hit for the pitcher Ziegler.
Well, Brad got close to an at-bat. Had a helmet and gloves on.
Well, we can still dream. Walker 212, 2 homers. We've seen Christian Walker absolutely tattoo some baseballs. It'd be fun to see just how far he could hit one if he barrels up a ball in this ballpark. Musgrave has had a bumpy ride. He's been up and down from AAA Albuquerque several times this year. He's been scored on 12 times in 27 games. Walker blasts one down the line. Foul. Colorado in the bottom of the 9th inning will have 6, 7, and 8 due up. Gonzalez, McMahon in the pitcher spot. Looks like Archie Bradley will get the save opportunity. They had Diekman up earlier. You figure maybe he starts against the lefties. But we'll see. 2-2 on Christian Walker. 5 for 23 as a pinch hitter this year. A couple of homers. On this Patriot Day, 9/11. Goes down and chases a changeup. Stays alive, 2-2. Christian with John Jay, the leadoff man, on deck. Walker, 84 games at Reno this year, hit .299, 18 home runs.
Drove in 71 in 84 ball games.
Well, not bad, huh?
The fans of the Reno Aces really enjoyed watching Christian Walker this summer.
This is sky to right for Gonzalez. Here's John Jay, 0 for 4. Rockies bullpen stays busy. Almonte's thrown a complete game down there by now. DJ Johnson warming up as well. And there's a look. Aaron Holmes, the bullpen coach, back there. Arenado toes on the grass at third. Jays grounded out twice, struck out, flied out. Off the side of the mound for Story. Eduardo Escobar singled and scored in the first, came home on David Peralta's 2-run homer. Archie Bradley has sat down in the Diamondback bullpen. It is Diekman and Hirano. And we've seen Torey Lovullo do this, and he said he would continue. Matching up late in these games. Escobar hits one toward the left field corner. And Dahl tracks it down right at the 347 mark. So here we go. 6-3, bottom 9 coming up. Leading off the bottom of the 9th inning in a save situation. And it looks like we'll use that same formula, only here It'll be Jake Diekman and Yoshihisa Hirano. You've got two lefties scheduled to lead off the ninth for Colorado, Carlos Gonzalez and Ryan McMahon. Now you've got some right-hand bats on the bench if you want, if you're Bud Black. We'll see how they play it. But it will at least start out here with Diekman versus Gonzalez.
Yeah, it seems odd, though, because Archie Bradley was up in the bullpen, but sat down in favor of Yoshi Hirano when Diekman got up to start this inning.
So here we go with Cargo 0 for 3. See that average for the year, 279. He's hitting 260 versus left-hand pitchers this year. He'll put the shift on against Gonzalez. So Diekman starts the ninth with a 6-3 lead. Hirano continues to warm up in the pen. And he drives one toward left center, and that reaches the wall, off the base of the wall. Gonzalez, a leadoff double.
This is a first pitch challenge fastball up and out over the plate, and Cargo finds that gap in left center field. Stop it right now.
McMahon will be the hitter. They'll leave him in there. Got some right-hand bats on the bench. Ian Desmond springs to mind. But they'll stick with McMahon, who is 0 for 3. Now 8 hits for Colorado. Joe's bunt, bunts it up the first base line. It's a beauty, and everybody's safe. And the Rockies will get the tying run to the plate, and here comes Ian Desmond. That was an absolutely perfect bunt.
Now Diekman does fall to that third base side of the mound just a little bit, slow recovering back to the right side, and that's just a perfect bunt. I don't know if there was any way to make a play on that ball.
Here comes Desmond. Pitcher spot is 8th in the Rockies order. And he will bat from the right-hand side. Torey Lovullo will go to his right-hander, Yoshi Hirano. Will inherit a mess. Tying run at the plate, nobody out. Back after this. Double and a drag bunt single, and he is replaced by the right-hander Yoshihisa Hirano with runners at first and third, nobody out, and the tying run at the plate for Colorado. So Desmond will be the hitter, then it's Iannetta, and then it's Charlie Blackmon. Yoshi's 70th appearance this year. Desmond only 233, but he's got 20 home runs. 2 hits in the ball game last night. He singled, doubled, walked, and scored twice. Gonzalez at third, McMahon at first. Fastballs, a strike, 0-1. Keep in mind also that Ian Desmond hits the ball on the ground more than any other player in the major leagues. So he's a double play waiting to happen. That's in the air and foul. More than 60% of everything Ian Desmond hits is on the ground. That's a big reason why he's just not really been able to take advantage of Coors Field. And he's homered here just 6 times all year. Yoshi ahead 0-2. Almost threw that fastball to the screen. Torey Lovello trying to get back within 2.5 of these Rockies for the NL West lead. Here's the 1-2. Yes, he went, and Desmond strikes out. Got the splitter.
Splitter in the dirt. Desmond could not check. Bat got way out there in front of home plate that time, and he knows it.
Well, now here's Iannetta. Tying run at the plate, 1 out. They walked against Chafin in the 7th.
Chris Iannetta, one of 5 Colorado Rocky hitters that have grounded into double-digit double plays this year. 13 times Iannetta's bounced into a double play.
Yoshi trying to dial one up right here. A hard splitter away, misses. 1-0. Colorado with 42 come from behind wins this year. That's 3rd most in baseball. That's going to reach the seats and foul. Iannetta's a tough out. D-back fans know from last year what a clutch hitter he can be. Back with you tomorrow. D-back Live pregame show at 5 o'clock. A rematch of the opening day pitching matchup at Chase Field. Patrick Corbin and John Gray. Another splitter. Mathis slides out there to get it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Charlie Blackmon is the on-deck hitter. He has doubled and walked tonight. Got a 2-1 fastball and missed it. Six runs, 10 hits for the Diamondbacks. 3 runs, 9 hits for the Rockies. D-backs trying to even this 4-game set at 1 game apiece and get back to within 2.5 of Colorado. There it is. Fastball, he dotted it down and away.
A dangerous hitter in that situation. You mentioned Chris Ionetta's come up with a lot of big base hits. He missed away with a splitter, a fastball right down the middle of the plate, another splitter away, another hittable fastball, and then just dots that outside corner at 92. Well, Ionetta had a couple good pitches to hit in that sequence, just couldn't catch up to the Yoshi Hirano fastball.
Blackman last man standing. Tying run at the plate, 2 outs in the 9th. McMahon takes off uncontested. There's a fastball for a strike. Mathis wants to be sure. You've got to be against Blackman. He has been a one-man wrecking crew this month, hitting over .420 in September. He's already homered 5 times against the D-backs this year. Carr goes at third, McMahon's at second, 2 outs. Oh boy, is he locating his fastball tonight or what? He's just throwing darts up there. Shift is on against Blackman. Ahmed, the shortstop, on the first base side of second, almost straight up the middle. Here's a look. Yoshi is strike away. Late time granted by Field and Culbreth. Oh, 2 to Charlie Blackman. Lays off the splitter. Dodgers lost at Cincinnati 3-1. Yoshi has struck out the first 2 batters he's faced. Now ahead of Blackman, a ball and 2 strikes. Center field, AJ backing up. He's got it. And Yoshihisa Hirano has his first career major league save. The D-backs win it 6-3. They snapped the 3-game losing skid. They're back to within 2.5 games of Colorado. These guys are not done yet.
Made it interesting there at the end of the ball game. Jake Diekman giving up the back-to-back hits to start the 9th inning, but Yoshi Hirano comes in to put out the fire. A couple of strikeouts and a fly ball to center field. And we mentioned it before. You always look to the offense for somebody to jumpstart it. We needed somebody out of the bullpen to jumpstart it tonight.
Big time. Brad Ziegler was outstanding. Yoshi gets his first career save. And the D-backs, with 17 to play, are 2.5 back. Patriot Day here in Denver. D-backs win it 6-3. Up next, Jody Jackson. It's D-backs Live, the postgame show, brought to you by CenturyLink. A much-needed Diamondback win. They got great starting pitching from Greinke, timely hits, and some big outs from the bullpen. It all adds up to a 6-3 D-backs win. Back with much more from Coors Field right after this.